Absolutely. A student of literature who came into history, who's now doing very fascinating visual volumes.
Yeah, I mean, when I started like in 2006, I really wanted to work on the history of women in the circus. That's how the idea started. So I was actually pitching this idea with my MPhil supervisor at the time in Kannur University, Kerala. But then, being a literature department, more interested in the questions of representation and body and all of those, they were really not interested. So I was doing more on certain other questions, which is more suitable to a literature department, like poetry and body and all of those. But then in 2006, I wrote an article on the autobiography of women in the circus in Malayalam. That was in a popular magazine, and that actually gave me a sort of, and that's how I actually meet the lead man. And he had also sort of read that article, and we meet. And I was pitching my ideas with Bangalore CSCS, the Center for Studies in Culture and Society, but I didn't get through. But then, I joined Delhi University with Philip Menon. That there began my research journey. But yeah, the real reason for me to actually come to take up this as my research area was when I began to meet these women, and there was one sweeper woman called Anidechi, who used to be in the campus, Kannur University campus, where I was doing my MPhil then. So my home was far away, and I used to reach the university campus a bit early. So sweeper women were my only company, and I would just talk to them. And then one of them was a circus artist, Anidechi. So through Anidechi, I met other women who were around the campus. And even though I have grown up with this myth being in this town called Talasheri, which is known as the circus town in India, I understood that apart from the mythical tales, these lives are so vibrant around the campus and around my hometown that it needed much more research, So history embraced me, I should say, rather than me choosing history. And that's how I actually started my work. And I'm glad all of you are here for this exhibition. Thank you so much for coming.
Just briefly going to introduce her. Dr. Nisha studied, as she said, in Kannur, Masters and MPhil in Literature. She did a PhD, which was completed in 2016, published in 2020 as a book, Jumbos and Dancing Devils, History of Indian Circus by UP. She has held fellowships in several universities in Lund, at the British Library. She's worked in the archives in Sheffield. She's been at Yale. She's also been at 2 South African universities, Witwatersrand and Johannesburg. And subsequent work will be on African athletes. And so she's doing fascinating work on transnational histories. She has a book presently in press, which is on the circus illustrated work. And the other, which I'm being told not to divulge the title of, is an edited work to be published in Leiden, which has several papers on histories of the circus. I want to extend special welcome to Professor Menon, to the librarian, and most of all to the Vice Chancellor. This morning when I sent the notice and reminded him and said, can you come for the inauguration, he didn't reply. But then I heard from the director, Deepa Bhatnagar, that no, he has already confirmed and he's coming. So we're delighted to have you, and we request you to declare the exhibition formally open.
Okay.
So to cut a ribbon.
You have to cut a ribbon, we know that.
We managed to get a ribbon.
I just wanted to say that circuses are very, very close to my heart, and I'm so glad that we'll be actually seeing photographs of circuses. I grew up in Bengal where we had 2 circuses a year, and I think most of the performers did come from Kerala, and they were the highlight of my year. So I really am looking forward to looking at today's exhibition. Thank you very much for doing this. Thank you. Let's.
These images is also in the pipeline and hopefully will be coming out soon. I'm very grateful to Professor Mahesh Rangarajan, who has been instrumental in putting together both these exhibitions at Ashoka and Nehru Memorial Museum. And I'm also very, very thankful to the director of Ashoka Archives, Deepa Bhatnagar, and her excellent team, which I had the pleasure of working with. I'm really grateful for having such a huge teamwork, without which it would have been impossible to set up an exhibition of this, grandeur. Thank you, Chirag, Yogesh, Himanshi, who else? Joni, all of them for being there to make this exhibition happen. I'm really grateful. Once again, thank you so much for the opportunity to curate this exhibition here at Ashoka.
When the circus was global, but in a very particular way, it could bring in people who were not of Indian origin. It was also open in terms of the human-animal bond. It was also, this is what I'd love to know more about from you. Was it a means of upward mobility or transformation for people from certain communities, castes, genders, who otherwise might not have been able to be public performers? And through these public performances, they earned a respect, a certain fame, a certain name. I'm struck by all the accolades each of the people had: fearless, brave, athletic. So would you like to maybe respond to that?
Yes, thank you so much for sharing your insight.